Now I will read you something about 2012 from another book. This book is called The Light Shall Set You Free. The Light Shall Set You Free by Norma Milanovich. Sorry, I can't pronounce her last name too good. But this is very interesting and very informative. And you can find this book where I read it on a playlist that I will put in the description bar. So you can read almost the entire thing. I have pretty much of the book that I have made videos of, except for the last part. But this part that I want to read you now that concerns 2012 and what we call the end of time, you will find this very fascinating. On rereading it, I'm seeing things I never noticed the first time. But I start with this chapter called The Introduction to the Basic Concepts of Transformation. Nothing we ever imagined is beyond our powers, only beyond our present self-knowledge. Theodore Roszak. In several messages received over the last few years, the Ascended Masters have spoken of the transformation Earth is presently going through. Often they included descriptions of changes that would occur to both land and people. They called it the birthing process for the planet and stated emphatically that it is part of Earth's evolutionary path. This transformation into the new age was described once by the Arcturians as the birthing of a planet, Earth, into a star in the heavens. They said that it has been written since Babylon that the Earth would journey into the age of Aquarius and become a Garden of Eden in the universe. They also explained that this event was happening because of the precession of the equinoxes, and that Earth's position in this universal parade of stars was guided by forces higher than we can imagine. Transformation intrigued us because the messages implied a total change for both humans and the Earth. Kuthumi El-Morai and Sananda made this clear on many occasions. They spoke of the mysteries, keys, and codes that unlocked the answers to these changes, and often sent us on journeys that assisted us to discover the answers for ourselves. In several transmissions, they suggested that we follow the thread. They implied that if we journeyed backward in time and researched major teachings recorded centuries ago, we would discover the secrets to life itself. Never would they give us the answers. Instead, they only provided guidance and advice, allowing us to work in whatever time frame and mode we chose. In short, they were excellent teachers. The search for answers was sparked by their clues and discussions of past knowledge that none of us had. They moved us through time-space with such rapidity that at times we felt our heads spinning with information and truths that we did not know even existed. They found us to be serious students and at times rewarded our efforts by giving us gifts from the etheric. Sometimes books that none of us had ordered would appear mysteriously in the mail, providing precisely the reading material that was needed to help us gather the information. At other times, strangers would introduce themselves to us by phone or personal visit. Coincidentally, we always had the information we needed to proceed to the next step. Other times, information was accelerated through our dream states of consciousness, leaving us to decode it. Transformation, says Kuthumi, is a journey that the human race has taken since the beginning of time. Therefore, in order to understand transformation, we have to research the ancient truths from the beginning of recorded history. Records in old libraries, such as the Library of Alexandria, contain much of the world's wisdom, but through the actions of unenlightened souls, these treasures and gifts were destroyed. That which was not destroyed will be rediscovered in this period, for the time is right for bringing these truths to the world once again. Much of this ancient knowledge will come forth in the same manner in which this book is being developed. Hearing this bewildered us. Learning that there was even a possibility that there was a master plan for the unveiling of these events was staggering. Receiving this information made us inherently suspicious that this ascended master brotherhood of the all, called in many books the Great White Brotherhood, white in this context meaning white light, has been in charge all along. These masters appear to be members of a group that oversees the entire plan of operations, at least for this section of the universe. Emphatically, they state that they work for God. They are here to assure that all details of this plan run on schedule. Throughout history, when the time was right, they have communicated with souls such as ourselves. They cite Noah's being notified of the upcoming flood or John the Baptist foretelling the coming of Jesus as examples. These historical figures received their message in the same way that many are receiving this kind of information today. Only the masters appear to have access to the entire master plan. We receive pieces that fit our missions. They oversee the tactics and maneuvers and monitor the proceedings. We are rewarded for our progress and accomplishments with more assignments and hard work. We also are rewarded by knowing that God's plan is actually developing as planned, and that each of us, in our own small way, is contributing to its success. Kuthumi explained that transformation takes quantum leaps around the turn of each millennium, but the effects are even more noticeable when each new age begins. The vibrational frequencies automatically change with the precession of the planets and stars, and in this scientific motion, consciousness also adjusts. They define consciousness as the foundation for all there is, for they say that God is thought, and out of thought came light, from which all things are manifested. They say that the world is a microcosm of the universe, which is our macrocosm. They say that all is energy, and that energy is light. Out of light energy came sound energy in the original creation. Out of light and sound comes the formation of all that is. Each object, whether solid, liquid, or gas, has its own code, which is a vibratory frequency. This vibration is created out of light. Since humans contain a consciousness that can be controlled, and since consciousness is thought, then each individual is actually a co-creator with the divine. This is the lesson we have journeyed to earth to discover. This is the reason for life and for our incarnation in this lifetime. Few will find the answers to these mysteries, for an individual has to experience enlightenment to be able to grasp this truth. Most will scorn this principle, for to accept it demands accountability for our actions. Not many are ready to accept this kind of responsibility. Most, in fact, will try to provide explanations contrary to these facts. Therefore, few are ready for the transformation that is destined to consume the earth over the next several years. The date for entry into the fifth dimension is scheduled for the year 2012, says Kuthumi. He emphatically states that all vibrational conditions will be in place for this transformation to occur by the year 2011. This he calls the end of the world. This, he also says, must be the turning point for all the cleansing to be complete, for it will be at this moment when the critical mass should be ready to take that leap of consciousness into the fifth dimension of time-space. This phenomena will consume all that has existed before. Some will not recognize their abilities as they are today, but will actually take on a higher form of what is closer to what our Arcturian friends described in the book We, the Arcturians. Some are destined to become the Adam-Cadmon species, a highly evolved group of beings with abilities not presently understood on Earth. The world will be in the at-one-ment with the Creator. The planet will understand the harmony and peace for which it has yearned for many centuries. The decade of the 90s and the beginning of the millennium will test many who are in doubt today and provide each with the exact test they will need to overcome their fears and doubts regarding this transition. Since the human form is destined to change, precisely how we are not clear, then new rules, books if you will, must be written that will contain the information to help each soul evolve to this new state of consciousness. The information provided in this document, we were told, would contribute to this evolutionary leap for humanity. Much will be transmitted over the next 2 decades, but only the souls who are ready to receive the new curriculum will elect to raise their vibrations to match those required to enter the new age. The word vibration is the key. All humans who will journey on to this new world in the 5th dimension of time-space must have a vibrational frequency earned through raised consciousness that will match the vibrational frequency of the new age. This phenomena is absolute and will be measured by individuals' abilities to be open-minded, loving, centered, tranquil, peaceful, and devoted. Since these characteristics are more closely aligned with the higher states of consciousness, these individuals are defined by the masters as being more godlike. These individuals will command the vibrational frequency closer to the speed of light, which will be in alignment with the age of Aquarius. Kuthumi described this whole phenomena as a scientific one. He stated that our physicists were already beginning to make connections among these principles and concepts, and soon would be able to document the concept of oneness, which is a part of the millennium which we are entering. Since we are entering the home, or perhaps dimension is a better word, of higher level beings, they are our teachers. Soon, they have said, we will have an entirely new curriculum that we must master. They proposed the outline for this book as a part of that curriculum and said that those souls who journey into the higher realms will have to understand and master it. This curriculum includes the universal laws. In the etheric, one behaves at one with the all. In order to do so, the soul must follow certain rules. These rules are the universal laws. The laws, Kuthumi said, were provided to Earth by many known as ancient masters, one of whom was Hermes Trismegistus, the ancient of the ancients. It was the Egyptians, he said, who later understood these laws and used the power that this existence of at-one-ment provided to them. That is why they built such a great civilization. When one is in harmony with the universal laws, then all things can be created and manifested, for the beings who incarnate are truly co-creators with the all. In this state of balance and perfection comes the application of ancient mystery school teachings and the keys to eternal salvation.